Another little quick how-to video here. What I have in front of me is a Athearn Genesis ST70 Ace that I picked up at the show this past weekend at the Amherst Model Railroad Show down in West Springfield, Mass. And if you're looking to upgrade your locomotives to LED lighting, there's a lot of LED lighting on the market that can be purchased. But it's pretty easy to make your own. I buy warm white 0402 LEDs already all pre-wired on the internet. I can post a link down at the bottom of this video if you're interested in purchasing some of these. They do come with 1000 ohm resistors in the package. I just separated them. But these are 1000 ohm resistors. And the other thing you're going to need is some heat shrink tubing. And this stuff right here is, I'm not sure of the size, but it's pretty small. And then also, if you go online, you can find some, this is single strand fiber optics. And this is put out by, if you can see that, fiberopticstore.com. And this is actually 1.00 millimeter, which actually fits in the opening of the locomotive lights. So that's what you're going to need. So the first thing I did was I take two of the 1000 ohm resistors, and these are going to attach to the Tsunami soundboard or whatever light board you're using. And what I do is I just twist the ends, and each LED needs its own resistor. So this portion right here will get soldered, trimmed, and actually have an angle put on it, and will get attached to the Tsunami soundboard. One LED will get attached to one resistor, the other LED will get attached to the other resistor for two headlights or two taillights. So each LED needs its own resistor. These are 1000 ohms. If you want them brighter, use 640 ohms. If you want them dimmer, use a higher ohm. 1000 ohms for me with function 7. You got a high and low beam. These work out pretty well. Once you get it all soldered together, this is what it looks like. It's trimmed, and then these will get trimmed down once I get the locomotive taken apart. All right, so that's those. I try, single strand fiber optics pretty cheap. What I do is I usually just cut about a 1/2 inch of the fiber optic, and then these will be trimmed to size once they get put inside the locomotive. Just like that. And then you want to get a small piece of the heat shrink tubing. Get a few of those. And they don't have to be very big. Like so. Now to get the fiber optic to go inside of here, I use some CA glue gel. And what I'll do is I'll just put a little dab of this on one end of the fiber optic strand, and then I will just place that inside just like that, and just set that aside for a second to dry. I'll do another one real quick. So a little CA glue just on one side. That helps hold the heat shrink tubing in place till we actually heat shrink it. Just like so. We'll set that aside. Now once those are dry, I already have one that's dry right here. That's what you end up with. Once you do that, take one of your LEDs. Like I said, these are 0402 warm white LEDs. I've really gotten into the habit of testing these before I install them. Had really good luck with this company. I've yet to come across an LED that doesn't work. So this is a 1000 ohm resistor, which I soldered to the negative post of the battery, and you can see what it does light up. So I know that one's good. Now I don't put any glue on this LED. All I do is just slide that right inside the heat shrink tubing, just like that. And then with a hot soldering iron, I just very easy. You don't want to put too much heat to it because you'll actually warp the fiber optic. all we're doing is heating that enough to just grab and hold the LED in place and not let any light escape. Just like that. And then once this locomotive shell is off, this will actually fit inside. And it just slides in from the back, and you can hold that in place. Once I get the shell apart, I'll slide this in and see how much I need to trim of this off. We'll trim it down to size. But let me just show you how nice and bright these are. And they work really well. Let's see if I can do this. And there's one right there. And that's what I use for the headlights. Really cheap, doesn't cost a lot of money. And this will get soldered to one side of the resistor. Whoops, backwards, this way. So this will go to the resistor, this will go to the common side of the board. And that's it. So you can get rid of the incandescent lighting, the 1.5 volt Miniatronics bulbs that are in there, and replace them with these LEDs, and they should last for thousands and thousands of hours and not have to worry about taking the shell apart. Alright, it's that easy. Thanks for watching. Okay, so one more thing. I just showed you how to do these right here to do your 2 headlights and your 2 tail lights for the locomotive. What I forgot to mention is how do I do the ditch lights. Well, those are a little different. Once you get this hose, this red hose out of the way, you'll see that there's wires coming through, and the 1.5 volt bulbs are actually up inside the ditch light housing. So you want to use a pair of tweezers, be extremely careful, and once you pull those out, once this is all taken apart, you're going to have to cut and just try to get all that wiring out of the way and clean that hole. Once that's done, all I do is I put some of this micro crystal clear right here. I put some of this on the very tip of this LED, and when it's still wet, I will actually take and slide that right up inside. And you want to try to make sure you don't get this too high, too low, side to side. You want to try to make sure you get that LED up inside the housing as centered as possible. It takes practice. A couple of my first generation locomotives were kind of, off to the side or up and down. But it takes some patience to get it in there. But once you get it in there, you'll have some nice bright ditch lights, and they'll match the color of your headlights and tail lights. But that's how easy it is to put these in. A little bit of patience. These are actually soldered, so you can see the front. The way they solder these is really kind of nice. They solder them in the back so that you can actually see, the light's not pointed up, it's actually pointed in the correct direction, so when these go up inside the locomotive. So I just wanted to add that real quick, and that's it. Alright, thanks for watching.